Hello, world. Welcome back on this Good Thursday. Of course, this is Americana, and I am your host, Willie Montague. You know we don't tiptoe around truth here. We tackle it. This show isn't for the faint of heart. It's for those unafraid to think, question, and lead. So buckle up because comfort ends here. This is Americana. Do we have some hot topics for you today on Americana? This is something that's been traveling around. The Epstein files, truth or political theater. Then the government shutdown is finally over, but spending or sabotage. And then a global displacement hits new records. So today we're going to do this, not alone, of course. We're bringing back Taj, who is definitely outspoken and unapologetic about it. We have a lot coming up on today's episode. But before we get into that, you already know what time it is. Let's get into Willie's Take. Y'all, it is time to stand your ground. The world is spinning faster than ever. Wars, files, shutdowns, scandals, everyone's pointing fingers, no one owning responsibility. Leadership isn't about noise, it's about clarity. While some chase headlines and hashtags, others build strength, secure borders, protect families. America doesn't need more confusion. It needs conviction. In 2025, with everything on the line, we cannot afford leaders who follow the crowd. We need leaders who stand their ground. And that is definitely what we're going to be talking about today, is who is standing their ground. But, of course, we're bringing on today on Americana Taj, political commentator, community service agent of change, as I like to say. Welcome back to Americana Taj.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we're ready for this. The Epstein's files is not going away, so let's dive into this. There has literally been over 20,000 new pages from Jeffrey Epstein's files were just unsealed, and Democrats are claiming Donald Trump knew about the girls. Republicans call it a smear job, time to distract voters. Victims are still awaiting for a real justice, while Washington turned it into a political circus. Taj, with this conversation going on with this Epstein file, why are Democrats suddenly demanding full transparency when the FBI has hidden files for years?
That's a great question. I think with more files being released, it's even more proof that Donald Trump is lying about his knowledge about Jeffrey Epstein's island, the Lolita Express, and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. It seems like Donald Trump has been lying this entire time.
You really think that Donald Trump is lying, or you think that the Democrats? You think that the Democrats?
Elaine, I don't know who she is, but I wish her well. To like, oh.
I love that impression. You're doing a great job, but I think it's another witch hunt from the Democrats.
Mar-a-Lago. So he's like giving different details about his knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and whatever the heck
But Taj, I want you to think about this with this email that's out there, or they're saying this email was saying there was a part that was redacted, and part of that was redacted was someone's name who we now know the name, and I can't quite think of her name at this moment, but she stated that there was no interaction. He was very nice, never interacted with these minors, and so should every Epstein name, no matter the party, be released to the public? Because now it seems like the Democrats released the files, but I'm pretty sure there's some Democrats that could be found in this list too.
Yeah, let's release everybody. If it's Clinton, then let's get Clinton too.
Well, we know Clinton was
I'm okay with that.
We knew Clinton was in a blue dress.
When I watched the Bill Clinton masterclass, I almost had a tear. He's one of my favorite presidents ever. But if he's in those files, he's implicated in doing inappropriate things with women that are underage. Let's get his life through. Can you please say the same about Trump? If he's clearly lying about his knowledge.
I don't think that Trump is lying, and the White House made this very clear. You said something. Do you want me to respond, or I mean, I'm just trying to find out whose show we on. But anywho, what I'm trying to say to you is, I'm just trying to figure out now. So is this about justice for victims or just another 2025 election weapon? Because we know midterms are coming up and we know Democrats are going to lose bigly. So do you think this is just another a weaponization against the political system?
I think if it is a weapon, it's a necessary. The American people deserve to know which elected official and which powerful billionaire is a pedophile, is a little pedo. I want to get pedos out of office.
Well, I think the biggest pedo of all was Biden, because he was out sniffing little girls' hairs. I mean, just from what I saw. I don't know. Maybe it was AI. I don't know. But I mean, I did see him out there smelling little girls' hairs. I don't know. Maybe he was seeing it was Head and Shoulders or what it was, a beautiful cover girl. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
What about Carol? What about like all the victims that came out saying, hey, Donald Trump did something sexually appropriate to me? Like, what about all those victims? You're saying that Biden's alleged victims. What about Trump's? More proof.
Have you seen President Trump sniff little girls' hair?
I saw him himself say, grab him by the what?
No, but that's not the question. Taj, the question was, have you seen President Donald John Trump sniff little girls' hair? Yes or no?
I have not seen that, but I have seen other things, such as Donald Trump confusing one of his sexual assault victims for his ex-wife. He said, I've never seen her before. That's my ex-wife. No, Trump, that's a sexual assault victim. That's E. Jean Carroll right there. You know what's interesting is that whenever the accountability is put back on the Democrats, that's the first thing that they do. But these are the same Democrats that sat and had steak dinners, champagne, sat around him, took money from him, and Oprah, all of those, Joy, whatever her name is, from The View. These are same individuals who praised Trump at one time. So what is the radical change now? Because all of a sudden these Epstein's files, which it has been clear even when they came out originally that Trump's information is going to be on the files, but there was nothing in there other than his presence, not that he did anything wrong. Trump has admitted to having a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Then he lied about it. Then he admitted to it again. Then he lied about it again. He's not a reliable narrator. Whatever he says cannot be taken without a massive grain of salt, without a salt lamp. A Himalayan salt lamp needs to be with whatever he says.
Let me ask this.
Give him a salt lab.
Let me ask this question to you, Taj. If you were around an individual that later was discovered to just not do appropriate things, does that then find you to be guilty as well?
No, it doesn't, but I call it out immediately. One of my best friends at one point was Aston Mack. When he got outed for being a pedo, I was like, screw that guy.
Right.
If Bill Clinton, one of my favorite presidents, is implicated heavily in those files, then screw Bill Clinton for real, even if he's one of my favorite presidents.
Okay.
I need Republicans to do this, have the same energy that I have, the same integrity I have with Donald Trump.
I think that the Republican Party has had far more integrity than what you see.
You haven't had it with John Boehner. You haven't had it with all these pastors that get implicated for touching kids. I just haven't.
What does the pastors have to do with the Republican Party? There's Democrat pastors that do the same exact thing. I'm confused how you tie those two together, because now you done pissed me off. So tell me how you compare apples and oranges.
There's so many Republican lawmakers and notable Republicans that are saying, "Oh, trans people are pedophiles." Then they have to be pedophiles themselves, and I need to call them out as well. I called out Aston Mack. I was spreading.
So let me ask the question: Have you called out these? Have you called out these trans that want to be in the opposite sexes, going into their bathrooms, or going? These trans people wanting to identify something to go into women's bathrooms. Have you called that out? Do you think that's not appropriate?
Are they trying to touch kids or touch women?
We don't know. We don't know, because I'm a man and my penis does not allow me to be able to go into a women's bathroom. How about yours?
I have not been inside a women's bathroom since childhood, but still, I don't see how this is relevant at all.
It's relevant because we're talking about trans and about pedos. You saying, do they touch little kids? I don't know, because I'm not in the bathroom. That's what I'm trying to get to. But there has been evidence of people who are pretending to be trans who will go into these girls' bathrooms, and they have been caught and have been convicted. And so I want you to call that same thing out. That's all I'm just asking. You was talking about have we called things out? We call those things out. Have you called it out?
I just haven't seen a piece of it. Can you name like a name of someone? I can say Roy Moore or Donald Trump or John Boehner.
Of course.
But
Todd,
sexual predator is that I'm defending. I haven't. There's not one. There's not
okay, Todd, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. You guys, we're going to be back, of course. We get ready to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the government shutdown, spending on sabotage, and global displacement hits new record. Stay right with us, guys. You're watching Americana, and it is going to be heated all the way through. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, welcome back to Americana. Well, we definitely have had an interesting conversation, but we're getting ready to dive even deeper. We have Taj with us on today, and let's talk about this shutdown. Whew. All I want to say is take a deep breath, you guys. It is over. After a 43-day shutdown, Democrats are blaming Republicans for hurting Americans. Yet, federal spending has exploded under their watch. The question: who's really responsible for America's debt spiral? How can Democrats talk about helping working families while running up record inflation through reckless spending? Taj, what do you say about the Democrats?
I think that those few, the 8 that cross-party large lines to vote with Republicans in the Senate, like, are traitors to the party and to the American people. So, I do not forgive John Fetterman, Jackie Rosen, the other ones. I just don't forgive them for what they did. It was ridiculous. There's nothing that was won for the American people with the spending bill that just got passed.
So you were okay with us continuing to stay in the shutdown because you didn't want Democrats to do what was right?
It wasn't what was right. There's going to be 20,000 deaths because we stopped funding for the Affordable Care Act.
I'm going back to the question because we had people who were already not getting food assistance. Food stamps were held up. You had things.
Not fund SNAP. That was like the president's decision.
Say that again?
It was the president's choice to not fund SNAP. Him and J.D. Vance have been fighting funding of SNAP. We had funds and the executive wanted to block it.
Well, that is not. You know why I think this is important for us to look at this just in a narrow thinking is that when you have a two-party system and you have individuals who is the leader in these both the Senate and the House, as Republicans are, there eventually where the same thing would happen if it was Democrats. We got to stand our ground because at the end of the day, we have the Democrats that was up to them. We would be another Canada or some communist socialist country where everything is free and given away. What do you think about that?
I think that if we were a company such as Canada or Norway or Sweden, then that's not a bad thing. Like these companies have higher levels of satisfaction among the electorate and the citizens. So yeah, I want to be more like those countries like America. I know we can be because the right people are elected in office.
So isn't this shutdown proof that Democrats have weaponized crisis to push more government control? Because that's what I saw. I saw this as an opportunity for Democrats to make it look like they are the savior and the hero of, the underserved, the less fortunate. And it was really a weapon because the people who suffered was the American people. It was their constituents. And even one Democrat senator said, this fight was not even worth fighting against President Trump, and it should have never began. And here it is 43 days later, and as we just had our House Speaker mention, he apologized to the American people that Democrats put this country through this turmoil. You don't agree that this was at the hands of the Democrats?
No, not really. 8 members caved and ruined it for everybody in the country.
Caved and ruined? What
yeah, those members had no history with fortitude, as you say, and yeah, they caved. Those 8 people ruined it. It made the conflict not worth anything. We were fighting for healthcare. 20,000 additional people are going to die per year. They cannot afford healthcare.
Well, I'll tell you what.
There are going to be plenty of people that can't go to work because they can't get the meds.
I got something for you. I got something for that. Tell all of the other Democrats, Congress and senators, forego all of their salaries, put it into a bank account, and make sure to fund those people with their salaries. Stop getting paid if that's such a problem. Because if you go into the hospital, are they going to turn you away, or they have to actually see you? Yes or no?
It depends on if someone's going to get crippling debt or not.
No, that is not true. That is not true. That is not true. Everyone has access to being able to make sure their health is taken care of in those type of situations. It's not like you're sitting out here and cannot do it. There are so many free resources and clinics that are out there in every state that has these opportunities. So to put this back into a federal level, meaning that you want the federal government now to come out here and babysit what goes on in state level. This is why we have conflict now, because we don't recognize municipalities. We don't recognize what's going on our state level and our federal level, and we clash all those together and then call it health care. That's not true.
It's not saying that one city can tackle all the time. Like, are you saying that you think Howie in the Hills, Florida, can pay for healthcare for everybody that's a citizen there? No, that's not possible.
So you think that the federal government is supposed to cover the citizens of Howie on the Hill?
Have access to healthcare, and that's currently not the state of the world or the country.
Whew. Okay, we're gonna move on to our last topic, which is global displacement. It has now hit new records. By April 2025, over 122 million people worldwide were forcibly displaced by war, violence, or persecution, the highest level ever recorded. So, Taj, if your side claims global compassion, why are we seeing displacement numbers soar, yet policies seem reactive, not preventative?
Well, I think it's going to get worse, Willie. I think it's going to get worse. The way we cut down on things like U.S. aid, the way that we cut down on things like green policy with this administration, things are about to get way worse. They're going to skyrocket. We're going to see worse floods, displacement from climate change.
I want to pause there. Are you predicting there's going to be worse floods because of what?
Climate change.
So the climate change, this is what gets me. I want you guys out there I just want to explain this global warming, climate change. Yes, the climate is changing, but you acting like glaciers are melting so fast that if I walk outside my house tomorrow, I'm going to have a wave come into the middle of Central Florida and just sweep me away off my feet, and I'm going to be out there with Baby Shark. Is that a real?
If that's what you think I'm saying, then you don't understand what I'm saying. Then I'm saying that the climate changing can lead to like a lot of like down the way effects that will displace people. Floods will become worse. Like temperatures will rise, and yeah, like there's going to be like a stronger amount of conflicts over things like resources and land.
You know what's interesting, because Democrats often focus so much about low emission, don't do this, but you don't stop flying, you don't stop driving, you don't stop using the things that is actually burning a hole in the ozone. So if it's so much about saving the earth and keeping us from having this great melting, glaciers and all of these things happening, then why don't be well-rounded in how you approach it in society versus still flying? Stop flying.
Well, you said society, and you're going
stop using your car.
Society and individual are actually two different words.
Okay.
Okay. So
well, let me bring it home. You people, the Democrat Party, you people.
No, it's a societal thing. I want bigger investment in public transit so less people have to drive. I want more.
Let me guess. That's supposed to be free too.
And yeah, what'd you say?
Let me guess. That's supposed to be free too. I'm supposed to pay for you to be able to take a train, a public.
We all benefit from stuff like that. Well, tell me how me paying for you to get on the train and I'm not on the train while you're on the train is benefiting me. Well, in a place like Orlando, Florida, where we thrive off of tourism, yeah, I damn sure hope you want.
Who thrives off of tourism? I'm not getting any tax breaks from the tourists here.
Not having to use a car to transport themselves. That's better for our local economy at home and for the rest of the country. It's great that someone that doesn't have a car can go from like some state to another state and just explore. Tourism's good. Surprise, tourism equals good. So yeah, I think that like when roads are less flooded, more people have the ability and it's more reasonable to take something like the bus, that's better. It's less cars on the road, less vehicles that are on generating heat, making greenhouse effect first. So yes, I think that's better.
Okay,
and that's
so
the vital thing, not an individual.
Now that real fast, because we get ready to go. Why do you think Democrats favor open borders rhetoric when global chaos is forcing 100+ million people to flee their homes? Answer that question as we get ready to wrap up.
Well, as a Christian, God made this planet for everybody. I think it's a really sad thing that humans have like demarcated places where other humans can't go. I want to explore the world that God created. I hope you do as well. I hope every viewer here watching wants that as well. So yeah, I do like when Democrats make it easier to move this country legally. You don't like legal immigration?
I'll say no. We're not going there. But I want to say this. If you, I want you to read your Bible. There were boundaries, Taj. Even in the Bible, there was boundaries for a reason. There was. I'm just telling you, there was boundaries there. But I thank you, Taj, for being with us again on Americana. We have to go. That's all today, you guys, on Americana. We do thank Taj for being here. You know, we keep it live over here. I'm Willie Montague, grateful you spent your time digging for truth with us. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on AFROTV. Until then, stand firm, think freely, and never trade truth for comfort. Have a great night.